Hey everybody, thanks as always for tuning in to PDubs Arcade Loft, where we always appreciate it when you come and hang out upstairs with us. Got a special event this evening. Instead of doing Multicade Mondays, we're going to do a special interview regarding pinball. That's right, Wonderland Amusements is here. We got the fellas from Wonderland here, as well as MichaelB The Game Genie is also going to stop by and help us with this live stream. And we're going to talk about the Alice in Wonderland or Alice Goes to Wonderland pinball machine from Wonderland Amusements. Coming up next. It's not often I get to roll the pinball intro on this channel. Usually we're talking about arcades and stuff, so it's always fun to roll the pinball intro. Guys in the live chat, do me a favor, give a warm welcome in the live chat. I've already told these guys behind the scenes that I have the best live chat in the arcade and gaming community. Give a warm welcome to Peter, marketing and operations leader at Wonderland Amusements, as well as Jerry, CEO of Wonderland Amusements, is here.
Hello.
And if you're feeling so kind, give a hi to MichaelB as well in the chat. How you guys doing tonight? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I'm so honored to be here and to be a co-host on the second best Monday night podcast. Thank you very much, PDubs.
No problem.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, it's good to have you guys on. The last time we all had conversations like this was at Chicago Pinball Expo, where you guys showed up with this empty black cabinet to a pinball expo and in a smaller form factor and said, hey, everybody, come check us out. And everybody, you guys got a lot of traffic at your booth, huh?
Yes. It was kind of interesting that we did that. We took a little gamble. We said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We knew the show was coming up and it was a last minute thing. But we knew the size that we wanted to do. So we said, you know what, let's just give it a shot. Let's take an empty cabinet, the right scale, and then, announce that we were going to make this, and let's see what kind of response we were going to get. It was just kind of an interesting thing that we did, but we got a very good response, actually.
We did. We had a lot of people. We were just looking earlier at you guys swinging by the booth. I was sharing with you that little video that I had from there it is. Just all you guys playing, hanging out in our booth and looking at all of the different things that Jerry and then
there's Cool Toy.
There's Cool Toy and PDubs.
And I'm wearing the same outfit I was wearing at Chicago Pinball Expo. How hilarious is that? I promise you guys, I have changed my clothes since then, but do we get a shot of your machine here in that video? Oh, there it is right there. Oh, yeah,
there we go.
And there we are.
He took pictures with everybody. Nice? Calm down with the show comments. He took pictures with everybody.
I didn't get a picture, and he didn't remember who I was.
I do now.
So we're tonight, guys, what we're going to do here for you guys, and probably in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to do the reveal of the fully decorated machine. It's been fun watching this project develop over time since Chicago Pinball Expo. You guys have been transparent. You guys have been putting out updates. Hey, we hired an artist. Hey, we hired a consultant. Hey, here's our first look at the artwork. Hey, we made some revisions based on people's feedback. You guys have done a good job. And since I'm trying to keep this to an hour for you guys, we're going to just kind of skip into where the machine is today and show off the full artwork wrap as well as what the playfield looks like. Now, keep in mind, Peter told me right before we went live here, there's still some final tweaks to be made.
There's actually many, actually.
Yeah, Jerry will give you a
rundown. I can tell you a lot about it, but I mean, when we get to that point. But this particular model that you're going to look at in a little bit is really our, we call it 2.0, but it's 2.0 decorated now. But that 2.0 model, in my world where I do development, we build models, we look at them, we tweak them, we build another model, we tweak them, and you fine tune them. With pinball, I'm learning here with pinball. There's a lot of play. You have to play it a lot. You got to play it a lot so that you understand all the little idiosyncrasies and how the ball is going to run up these ramps, how it's going to fit in this little tunnel, how it's going to. So we've been doing that right now with 2.0. And I can tell you honestly that we have probably 20 little tweaks that we made from that particular model that you're going to see now. A lot that we're tweaking. So we have another model on its way, which is going to be improved from this. This one works pretty well right now. I was pretty happy actually after seeing that because I'm working long distance. A lot of the design work is done here, obviously, but a lot of the model making is done over in Asia. So you got to do the design. You got to send over the drawings. You got to send over your comments. Then they got to build you a model. You got to spend the time. You can run over there, and then you have to look at it. Then you got to critique it again. So we're in this process of going through the process of critiquing it. But I'm pretty happy where it is right now. But I know the next round of prototype is going to be even better.
Now, Joe asked a great question here, guys. So tonight we're going to get right to the reveal for you guys in just a few minutes of the final artwork, or close to final artwork style and everything. After that, we're going to, we also have videos and photos to show you guys. We also have updated gameplay where, Jerry, you must be a better pinball player than Peter because you actually hit the shots. One thing that I noticed when you went to Hong Kong and you took that video, you didn't hit a damn shot, right?
Nope, not a single one.
Nope. You didn't hit a damn shot. You didn't get up a single ramp.
Nope.
You didn't get up a single ramp, and sure enough, everyone's like, "Oh, this game must suck because
no.
I
give him credit. He knew exactly what to say. He said the ramps seem a little bit tight. That's the greatest excuse you can use.
It's the ramp's fault. But Jerry actually hits the shots. Jerry actually hits the shots, which we'll show you
repeatedly.
We'll talk about the Kickstarter. We also have questions that we've already got before the stream from viewers, as well as we'll ask more questions and get your guys' Q&A in the chat. I want to make sure you guys are taken care of. We're going to have to try and fly through this in the next 50 minutes. We are broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch. Big shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. I usually don't broadcast there, so it's nice to see we got a lot of people watching on Twitch as well.
No Rumble tonight? What happened to the one person on Rumble? They're not going to get this update.
I messed up. I set it up on Rumble, but I set all the streams for today, but the Rumble stream I set up for yesterday's date, so Rumble automatically deleted it. So I didn't have time to
was
fix
just hanging out waiting, and
poor Marcus over there in Rumble. Poor Marcus. All right. So let's go ahead here, and man, we've got already 230 people here. I think that's a good enough size audience.
There was 250 there a couple minutes ago. I think some of them blipped just out, and they might blip back in. So
they're probably watching the commercials. They're probably watching commercials right now. All right. So are you guys excited to show people about this artwork and what the machine looks like now?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're very excited about it. I think I'm real happy with where it is right now from an artistic standpoint. It's not even anything, as you're going to show. Even the artwork is not final. We're still massaging the artwork everywhere. We're massaging the sculpts. There's other ideas that we're coming up with for some of the sculpts that go inside. Some of the 3D aspects. We're actually, we're reviewing it. We're developing this thing as we're going down, and probably I'm going to develop this thing right to the end, right before we go into production. That actually happens all the time in making products. You actually, right to the point where you release a thing, you might be tweaking a little bit. So I'm still right in the middle of this right now, doing this. Okay. But I'm pretty comfortable. When you see the images, you'll see that it's pretty nice.
Well, guys, let's get to it now. Full transparency, I've seen this stuff already. MichaelB The Game Genie has not, so you guys are going to get Mike's live reaction to these photos and videos, and the guys at Wonderland want to hear your feedback. If you love it, if you hate it, if you think it needs improvement or a tweak, they definitely want to see that in the live chat from you guys, so keep those comments coming. And I figure what...
Really quickly, too, I want to say, I'm going to fluff you up a little bit here, guys. I also want to say how much we appreciate how receptive you've been to, critiques on the machine and how open you've been to making changes. I know at the Pinball Expo, the first thing I said to Jerry was, I want to move the flippers back a little bit, the flipper buttons. And he was like, yeah, that's, and that's one of the first things that happened. So from the artwork to everything else, the community's noticing that receptiveness. And the back box.
Size of the back box. Yeah, that came up a lot.
There you go. Right, guys. We are listening.
There you go. Well, guys, there's no better way to start than to do an intro to this, what the pinball machine looks like now, than to show you an actual intro video. This is the actual intro video. When you fire up the pinball machine, what you'll see on the back glass and what you'll hear coming through the speakers. Let's check it out. What do you think about that, Mr. Michael B?
That's nice. Very well put together. I like the video.
Let us know in the live chat what you think. Currently, when it comes to the video modes and stuff, Peter, how soon do you think you guys will be able to show us a whole bunch more of that stuff? Because that's the only video thing for the back glass that we were able to show tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we have a few more things. It's kind of on Jerry. We have stuff that's very first draft of some of the animations that happened during gameplay, multi-ball, you've completed this quest, like that kind of thing. And they have no audio yet. We have first run of the animations. We haven't put them into the machine yet to actually see, are they too short, too long? Are you catching them as you're playing them? But I would say, I don't know, Jerry, when do you feel like, other than we'll be massaging until we release,
right?
Do we think we would be comfortable sharing some of that stuff?
Good question. Only because I've developed. We didn't talk about this yet, Patrick, but there's 8 quests or tasks that you have to kind of complete.
Yep.
And when you complete each one, there's a little animation that happens during that quest. Right. Mm-hmm. So I've developed those animations. Right. But in the gameplay, I'm timing those things out. Sometimes a ball runs through. You could be 3 moves in and that animation is still running. So I'm sort of tweaking those animations to kind of make sense while you're playing the game. So I have those animations already made and maybe probably making some more. Mm-hmm. So when can I share those? I would think that we could share them maybe in. I'm just talking. I don't want to commit myself, but I would say probably maybe we could do some right before the Kickstarter.
Yeah, so I was thinking like that would make the most sense. We'll
because then I feel more comfortable that we have a little more a grasp, a handle, and I'm comfortable with what I'm going to share. I don't want to share something and someone says, "Oh, you didn't include it in my machine." Oh, wait. I don't know. I don't want to, because, and some of these animations may change.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing stuff that just got developed. Plus we got this cool VO. We have these voice artists. We got a whole bunch of talent. So we have Alice in Wonderland voice.
All kinds of call outs and stuff.
We got calls, but we actually have VO. We actually have voice artists that did Alice, did Mad Hatter, did the Cheshire Cat. Okay. Oh yeah, it's cool. Some cool VO. So we're incorporating that into the animation and into the gameplay. Mad Hatter will say some stuff, join me for some tea, Alice, stuff like that. So we have some of those voices already recorded. So maybe at the same time I can release a little bit. This again, right before Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. Again, it's not going to be fully developed, but I think we can share that. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So when you're talking about the voiceover, I assume people that are more familiar with pinball would know it more as the call outs. And that's a huge part of pinball to a lot of people. They want to know that the call outs really fit the theme and stuff like that. So I think that's important that you get some of that, and maybe even integrated with some gameplay out before you start your Kickstarter.
Okay. So we'll do our best to try to do that. I know that in my animations, I have, the words are written out there, but I also have a VO that goes on top of that. And I wanted that because as you're playing, a lot of times when you're playing, and I did a lot of playing right now of other people's pinball machines, you don't really pay attention to the animation on the screen. You just don't because you're focused on there. So I wanted that VO to tell you that you've achieved that, or you've done that, or so yeah, I let's just say about 3 weeks, we'll give it a shot. Of showing some of this VO and some of the animations. I'm still working on the music, by the way. We have a company that I've done some recordings with, and they're writing some custom music for it.
Oh wow, yeah, nice.
Yeah. So this is not just source music. We didn't purchase any music. We're actually writing our own music for it.
You're on all out.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah,
I know it is crazy, but just like the artwork was really important to me. I'm an illustrator. That's how I got into this business. Artwork was very, very important to me. So when I hired Carlos, who I had known, that was very important to me that I wanted an original piece of artwork on our piece. It wasn't sourced art. It wasn't licensed artwork. It wasn't somebody else's artwork. It was original piece of artwork for our machine. So that's how we ended up with Carlos.
So real quick, guys, all the videos and photos and stuff that we're sharing tonight, I think Wonderland will make public tomorrow. You guys might do some posts or send out an email.
Yeah,
with some of the stuff.
We'll send a new post out.
But if any of the any content creators out there want copies of this, just hit me up. Whether you want to criticize it or whether you want to compliment it, just hit me up. I'll share any photos or videos with you guys. In fact, I'll throw it all in my Discord after this stream, so make sure you guys join my Discord. All right, you ready for the fun part?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Go.
All right, so let's go ahead and take the tarp off. I know you guys are excited about this. We got a quick video. It's in portrait mode of them pulling the tarp off, but don't worry, we'll have pictures. We'll zoom in and we'll talk about the artwork. So cue the drum roll, please, and I'm sure Jerry and Peter would love to hear you guys' feedback on what this machine looks like now. Let's go ahead and do it.
Very nice.
Oh, all right, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and share a great photo here. Here is a great photo where we can kind of see what this side artwork looks like on the pinball machine. Looks like we're going with chrome legs and chrome side rails.
As of now.
As of right now. That could change. That could change.
Yeah.
That could change. We've been talking with our manufacturer about powder coating, maybe having a color on there. So right now, I kind of like the chrome. I just think it looks nice with the artwork. So it may end up being chrome, but we've been discussing having a color, especially since I've seen so many other machines on the market that have basically black color legs, and some manufacturers do have a colored that for the legs and stuff that complements.
One of the things we've been talking about too, Jerry, is or for you guys is that we want to have some special version for the Kickstarter, and this could be one of the things that we, hey, let's have powder coated black, or let's have chrome as only as a Kickstarter exclusive, something like that. I mean, we know we want to do a couple of things like that that make it worthwhile for you to have come in right early. Plaques with numbers. Jerry's going to personally sign it. No, I'm not going to team up for that. But things like that for being a backer. I mean, look, it's a big deal to come in early to take a flyer on something that you have every confidence that is going to come. You can see we've invested a tremendous amount of time and money and energy into this. This product's coming to market. Okay. No doubt about it. I know that's one of the questions that we were talking about earlier, but we want to give a reason for you to have done that. And having something specific just for Kickstarter backers is one of those things, along with obviously aggressive pricing. We've been talking about the $1,000 price point, the sub $1,000 price point. Can validate right now. We are definitely going to release this for less than $1,000. I mean, we're very confident.
How close to 1,000 are we talking, Peter? Are we talking $9.99?
Might be a penny.
Might be $9.99.99. Is that what we're looking at?
I do want to go back and talk about the side artwork, and I am
please do. I didn't want to distract you a bit.
Very pleasantly surprised, and I do want to come back and, even though this is PDubs show, talk a little bit about the Kickstarter and tiers later, because I think that's a really good idea, and there's a lot to take from other pinball companies and what they do with their different models, from their standards to their premium and then LEs that you can apply to what you're doing there. But first off, I want to talk about the artwork, and one of my concerns when I first saw Carlos's work and I saw some of the early renders was, wow, this is kind of a gothic artist. I was concerned that the pinball would be kind of dark, and pinball is typically like bright and colorful. And I am so pleased with seeing this. I mean, the amount of blue on the side space, the colors really pop. There's really good spacing. The back box looks really good. The side panels on the back box and the back glass. Thank you so much for taking the criticism on Alice. I understood it. Like, that's Alice from the story. You know, there might have been some illicit drug use in the original story, but she looks a lot better like this. I'm just really impressed with the art. And it really surprised me based on the artist and the sample of work we saw from him.
Well, just so you know, I let Carlos go.
Really?
All I said was, no, I didn't let him go.
No.
Okay. I was like,
poorly worded. Poorly worded.
No, I meant, I wanted him to do his thing. But what I said, Carlos, look, I want your characters. I want you to develop these characters the way you feel they want to be. The only thing I want it to be, I don't want it to be sweet and innocent. I want it to be, lack of a better word that I can think of, but a little macabre, just a little edge to it, so that there was, it wasn't a preschool or a Disney-ish looking game. I wanted an adult to look at this thing. Oh, this is kind of cool, kind of creepy. There's a little edge to it. That's why when you look at all the characters around Alice now, they all do look a little, creepy. She's actually the nicest looking one now.
She's the innocent that has fallen into their world. I mean, I think that's
right.
That's storytelling. I mean, I think that's totally appropriate.
I mean, even the rabbit's a little sinister. His face, his eyes.
He's got angry eyes right here. Check that out.
All angry.
Sure.
They're all angry. But I liked what he did. It's funny. The very first time I talked to Carlos, I said, Carlos, I'm thinking zombies, man. I'm thinking
Jerry loves zombies.
And then he took me literally. He took me literally. So the early versions, you could see they was like, wait a second, no. Alice is not a zombie, you know. But anyways, that's what it ended up.
So real quick, walk us through what's going on here on where we typically see the coin door. What are all these different navigation buttons for? And things like that.
Okay, well, just so you guys know, this is the very first pass of working buttons. So right now we're going to have a really nice, almost like a door lock with for the pull, for the spring-loaded pull launcher. So it's going to be like a little bit of a door lock with a little ball pull, almost like a keys going inside that. So that's going to look really kind of cool right there. And as far as the controls go, we have the left red button on the top. By the way, that whole plate too is going to get changed. That's going to, it looks a little rounded, cute right now, but that was just the first pass of the model. So we're going to just make that a little cleaner, nice sharp edges. I may even have some sort of labeling artwork that lays on the inside that may look like wood grain going in there, almost like a tree branch. But the ideas going on in my head right now. But anyways, going through the buttons. So the left top red button is a start button. You basically you turn it on. Go back. Bottom left black one. You're pointing right now.
That's the power button.
That's the power button. That actually turns the machine on. Right. Okay. As soon as you turn the machine on, you're going to it's going to start up, and then you're going to use that D-pad or that X pad, right? To, you can go to a menu. You can choose the number of players. Okay. You can even choose the strength of the flippers. Really? To custom flippers. Yeah, we're gonna have a nice little menu set up in there that you can actually scroll through. But it's going to be 1 to 4 players that you can choose. And that's how you also when you at the end of the game, you can put your initials in. So you're going to use that D-pad to put your initials in for your high score. So then actually to launch a game is the left top button,
right?
The red one. And the red button on the right now is a placeholder, because as we're developing the product, we needed an extra button just to kind of queue and stuff. So right now, I'm not even quite sure we may need that, but we will probably. But right now, it's just kind of there for development. And then the bottom right is volume.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just so you have a volume switch.
Yeah, a lot of folks are used to the power buttons being on the bottom of the pinball machine, or like nowadays
on the back box.
On your more modern Sterns, they put it right up here underneath the back box. So just some feedback we're seeing in the live chat from folks.
Yeah, we thought we were. I wanted to. I didn't say I wanted to. I wanted to put it in the front because I didn't want you to reach in the back of the machine and trying to turn on the power. I wanted you to be able to walk right up to the machine and turn it on instead of had it reaching back in there. I mean, and that's on me. So
Jerry, that's half the fun. We get to reach under the skirt and see what's there. I'll just jump in here, and I'm not like I'm not known in the community as having the best reputation with artwork and stuff like that. But I will say, I think like if I could make two recommendations, and I don't know how much more this would cost, but I really like the side art, but the front art seems like a really stark contrast with just the plain black. If you could, it'd be nice to see some kind of continuation. It doesn't need to be super artistic, but maybe on the front more of that blue, and then some trees going up on the side instead of the black. And then if you wanted to get really fancy, and this will probably cost money, with the actual coin door, I'm glad you said it's gonna, do some little rendering, changing. But I think if you could do, and I know this is going to cost money, an actual opening coin door, one that they could pull open, then you could hide that power button and volume button on the inside, and people could just open and close the coin door. It'll also give them the illusion of like a real physical pinball machine. So sorry to add pressure, but I just think that's a really good idea.
Wow.
I'll discuss it with the crew.
All right.
There you go.
Put a little hinge here and a faux door that opens like a. Yeah, I see what Mike is saying, and then this stuff is hidden behind what looks like a coin door. I see that. I do find it interesting you mentioned that. So when it comes to the plunger knob, you said that the actual knob won't look like this. It'll look like it'll look like a lock. It'll look like a lock, like from imagine like the Disney cartoon or the story.
Yeah, think of an old keyhole.
It'll be like a keyhole lock.
And then coming out of that keyhole will be the rod, and then there'll be a round, like almost the end of an old key, and you're just going to pull that. And we're going to make that like a rusty brown color, almost like an old key. We have some renderings of that. You may even see that on the Kickstarter. We don't have it on here yet, but we have some designs for that. I'm excited about that. I think that's a nice little touch. It's going to look cool. And as far as just for Michael, who had mentioned the front of the artwork being all black, just real quickly on that one, that was kind of my call right now, and we haven't settled that yet. Again, everything on this whole surface, everything, even the artwork, is still being developed. Yeah. But we figured there was so much color everywhere. There was just everywhere was massive amount of color that we'd all thought that, hey, maybe in the front, it'd be nice if it was just kind of a nice plain black and maybe a 3D reliefed logo of the Wonderland logo on there. So that's where we stand right now. It's not settled. I might take your advice right away and say, hey, maybe we incorporate those trees and just wrap around the edge a little bit just so they invade that space. But I'm open for any of these suggestions. So
again, I do not have the best reputation in the community for artwork, so maybe ask some other people.
Worst.
Yeah.
But no, I think, and the live chat agrees that the front of the machine needs work, but everyone seems to be pretty pleased with what you've done with the side panels and everything. Now we actually have the playfield, and how close to done is this playfield? How close to finished are we looking?
So from a mechanical standpoint, we've made to the playfield itself, I'm just off the top of my head, we probably made about 15 little tweaks to it already since this model was made. Moving the ramp slightly, opening up some things, flattening out, looking at geometry and stuff like that, and looking at physics and stuff like that. Even like those. So the mechanical part of it is pretty close to what I want to do. But we've changed and made little tweaks, made it a little wider, opening up the neck a little bit, maybe changing this here and there. So as far as the artwork goes, if I want to comment on that, big change. That was an early version of the artwork. It was almost like a comp of it, and I was able to send it over to the factory for us to build a model from. So that Playfield is really a first pass. Many changes have been made to that since that vision. All the sculptural parts are going to get better, even better. Like those mushrooms right now. I did those mushrooms because in the artwork they look like little pearls on top of Carlos's artwork. But actually, I want to do more of a sculptural. Has a little lip on the edge. The little bumps are kind of recessed in there. Looks gnarly. It looks like a real sort of a mushroom on top of it. The ramp going up into the castle is going to be completely clear. So right now, this is just a painted piece, but I want it to be completely clear.
The cards are going to still be there because people love those cards.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, the cards will be there. 100%.
Everybody's favorite thing is the cards for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But instead of this being beige like it is now, it'll be
that's going to be completely clear.
It'll be a clear.
Yeah, so you can actually see a little bit through there and let some of the lights that are going to shine up come through it. The artwork that's on the inside walls is just temporary. It was just temporary art. We have all new artwork that's going to go on side there.
I gotta say, just really quickly, art blades are bougie, man. Like usually with a introductory pin, you don't got art blades on it. So that was a nice addition.
We're still working on that, but we have some really cool ideas to incorporate, like behind the caterpillar guy. What is he doing? He's smoking a mushroom, right? I mean, that's what he's doing right now. So I want an amazing mushroom field behind him. And he's going to have some nice coloring, and he should be blue right now because Carlos painted his guy blue. He should have a nice different colored chest. The mushroom he's sitting on should be like a pinkish kind of hue to it. So there's a lot go on here.
I should have sent you, Patrick. I should have sent you there's a new decal printed of the Playfield floor.
Oh yeah,
updated from that. I can share it.
I have it.
You
sent me.
You have it? Oh, okay,
we're
sorry.
Getting there.
I thought I held out on you.
Don't worry. One thing. I'm trying to help you out here. All right, one thing at a time. So right here, so we got a couple more videos to show you guys. We got gameplay footage. We got. We want to also show off more stuff with the Playfield. I think I have a couple more photos as well for you guys to see the new stuff. After that, we're going to have to start asking you guys some questions. We got to talk about
hard-hitting questions. We're
going to talk about the warranty, the Kickstarter, prior Kickstarter projects you guys have worked on, and all that stuff. So I've been seeing your questions in the chat. Trust me, I got you. A lot of the important stuff we're going to get to here in the next 30 minutes. Real quick, let's play this video. This right here is, I think, what you're referencing with the...
Yes.
With that, okay. So let me get that off of there. Let me play it this way. That way people can kind of see it a little bit bigger. Okay, here we go. So this is the new one, right?
Yes. You see everything's much brighter, even around the Mad Hatter. He's all nice and lime green. All the characters are punched up. Everything's even Twiddly Dum and Twiddly Dee. You can see that you couldn't even see them in the other artwork on the table. Even there's blue water on the sides around her. That wasn't even there before. The mushrooms are all nice and bright. Everything's really good. The cards and the carpeting leading up until the staircase, the card staircase, that's all nice and bright. And she's actually turned now, looking at the rabbit to her left, right. She's basically, if you look at the marquee art, she's falling into the Playfield. That's the whole idea. She's falling into the Playfield. So now she's entered this world, and her first landing spot was by that tree. And then she's
Right.
looking at her side saying, and he's saying, hey, I'm late. You know, she's like, where am I? You know? And then she's in this crazy Wonderland world, you know?
Right.
I love the way you're thinking because like the art is part of telling the story. It's not just art for the sake of art. So
Yes.
yeah, and that shows a lot of it gives me a lot of confidence, Jerry. I'll say that.
Real quick, Zero Redux says maybe a checkerboard tablecloth instead of beige. There you go. Are you guys gonna do anything special with that table? The Mad Hatter's table?
Well, because it was right next to the checkerboard floor, which I've seen in a number of movies and stuff, where she enters that room to find the key. I wanted to keep that area. If you later on, if you look at the playfield up on the top, you see the keyholes. So when you first come up, you have to try to collect 3 keys. That's one of the quests you have to do. So you have to enter those. So that's that playfield. So there's going to be little key symbols on the floor there. Yeah, maybe for the tablecloth, I could do something different. I don't know if I'd make it a checkerboard. I wanted to make it sort of like a tea, you know, if you look at a tea party or something like that. I was thinking about Granny's tea table, you know, like you know, something sort of elegant,
with the white doilies on it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was thinking of something like that. So again, this is you know, this is early artwork, early stuff. Actually, the Mad Hatter is something that I kind of drew. Well, no, Carlos actually gave me a line drawing. I think I just colored it in. He didn't get far enough along to give me a nice rendering of that. So but
I've got a technical question for the playfield now. One of the
Sure.
things that we love from a pinball machine is we want it to be seizure inducing. We want lots of lights, lots of flashing lights at all time. How many lights do you have actually on your playfield currently?
I think we have around 50.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we have around 50. We have those are just basically all the lights that are in the playfield, right? And around the sides. And then in the back right 2 corners, we have multicolor LEDs.
Nice.
So during the storyline, we're able to say behind the castle when the queen may be talking, you know, off with your head, off with her head. You know, we may be flashing a red light going back there. When you're going up the ramp by the Cheshire Cat, the LED light back there may change to a bluish green as he's talking. So I might have some real fun time with these colored LEDs in the back, and then have a lot of flashing. There will be a lot of flashing lights, but this is something that I've been learning as I've been playing a lot of other pinball games. When you first start the game, actually, all the blinking LEDs in the playfield are telling you that you can go ahead and go for those targets. Those are live targets right now. So when you first start the game, all the blinking lights will be active, meaning those are the ones you need to go through first. So
yeah, so this question may be a little out of order, but I did want to ask it, Jerry. One of the big question marks when a lot of people heard about this is they were like, "Oh, Jerry's designing the table," and we were like, has Jerry ever designed a pinball machine before? I mean, this was a huge task for you to take on. Like, obviously, I don't know if you've ever worked on pinball before or if you're a big fan. So, what made you want to undertake this yourself?
Well, I don't know. I had a lot of confidence in myself. I don't, but, you know, not to brag, but I've been designing product for over 30 years. I've done everything from consumer electronics, animated animation signs, animated mechanical toys, all kinds of different things. And when I looked at pinball, which I love, by the way, I'm an older guy. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm an older guy. I didn't grow up with video games. I grew up, you know, in my high school. We went down to the local pizza pub, and they had a pinball machine there, and we used to play that for whoever paid for lunch. You know, so I really enjoyed playing pinball. I can be honestly, I didn't know exactly how deep pinball went until the last few years when I started researching it a little more and seeing how sophisticated pinball machines have gotten.
Yeah,
they're amazing. I want to give all the big studios like Stern and stuff. Those things are amazing. They're pieces of artwork, but they're also an amazing piece of machinery. And I want to give them all the credit in the world. But I looked at it, to be honest with you, I don't want to, you know, say that I got a big head or anything, but I looked at it. I said, okay, it's a ramp.
Yeah.
Right. It's flippers. And the ball rolls down and hits the flippers. And I need to have some cool actions. So I played hours with these machines already, not my machine, but other machines. And I said, wow, okay, I see what they're doing. It's I don't want to say it's not rocket science, but yet there are things that these companies already do that they've done repeatedly. So they know not what to do.
The things to avoid.
The things to avoid. And I'm learning right now. I'm learning on the fly. But as you can see right now, this game, I'm just telling you right now, it's a little bit addicting.
Yeah.
Peter can tell you right away.
That's what I was saying. I mean,
we've been playing it, play testing.
Yeah.
Even with some of the tweaks that I want to make, even though I know I can improve it a little bit more, I'm still playing to the design that I already have. So it's a lot of fun. So what makes you say that I dived into this thing? I believed in myself and I believe in the team that I have. I believe that we can do this. I have an amazing manufacturing partner. And that's really a big part of making pinball is having a great partner that can make these mechanisms, and for me, and to listen to what I want to do. And by the way, I'm listening to a lot of different people. I'm not doing this on, hey, Jerry's just in the basement here doing this.
I wanted to bring that up too, because you actually brought on a pretty seasoned virtual pinball creator as well. And I believe he's also helping with the code a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Steve?
You might be talking about Steve Cronus. He's
a homebrew guy.
He's a homebrew guy. That's what it is. Not virtual.
Yeah. When I first started, I wanted a guy who knew how to make a machine. Yeah. Knew how to make a machine. And so in the beginning, he helped me. Matter of fact, he hasn't even seen the second version live yet.
You showed us before him.
Yeah, no, he's looking at it right now. Because
physically in person as well.
In person, yeah. Because I already made a whole bunch of changes, and I didn't really. I knew what they were.
Yeah.
So he may be listening to this right now. So Steve, he's going to be seeing. He's going to see in person 3.0, which is the next version coming out. I wanted him to critique that one because I already critiqued the hell out of it. So did 10 other people on this.
So So what I want to do here is I want to ask you a couple quick questions.
Sure.
Do the gameplay video so we can show people some updated gameplay.
Sure.
Then after that, we're going to dive into a bunch of Q&A stuff. So,
sure. Right ahead. I know we're running out of time here. I know.
Jerry was a very busy man. He has an hour. We're trying to get him in and out of here. So real quick, will this machine have Wi-Fi or Ethernet internet capabilities? And will it receive like code or game updates as time goes on? Are there online leaderboards or anything like that? Because I don't think that stuff has been truly confirmed yet.
I'll say yes, yes, and yes. So we will have Wi-Fi, and we felt it was very important to have Wi-Fi because you needed to update the gameplay. You needed to improve the gameplay. You needed to enhance the gameplay. So yes, we felt it was very important. Plus, Wi-Fi allows us to fix any bugs.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Learned that in my previous business when I was working on the arcade stuff, that without Wi-Fi, it's pretty difficult to fix something. So we had to put the Wi-Fi in. And plus, a nice little added bonus by having Wi-Fi is, yes, we can have some leaderboards and we can all compare our notes to each other and who's got the best point, who's got the highest score. So PDubs, you might be the high scorer, and we could all see. So we're going to have local high scores.
He's like, I don't know.
Local high scores.
Well, I mean, when I play pinball, some days you have those days where you're just on fire, right? And whether you're playing real pinball or virtual pinball, I was playing virtual pinball on like my ACK games, and I put up 500 million, and then I played another game and I got like 2 million. Like it just something happens. Some days you're just not there. Like some days you don't got it, right?
I've got a Stern Godzilla Premium downstairs, and some days I go in and play, and I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't sign into Insider Connected before I played that game because I just got 10 million.
So here's the other thing. So 2 more quick questions, and then we'll get to the more deep questions after we roll a gameplay video. People who purchase this product off of Kickstarter, or even later on after the Kickstarter's over, if this thing makes it to retail, etc., what kind of warranty are you guys looking to offer on this product? What are you thinking right now?
I'm going to be honest with you. We're debating that right now. We're looking at 90 days.
Yeah,
that's what we're looking at. But internally, we're debating that right now. What is the right thing to do? And we want to do the right thing. But as a manufacturer, we also know that these things get sometimes abused. So we want to see what is the right thing to do. And right now it's internal. It's internal. I can't give you a definitive answer. I think we'll know that before we're going to have to make a decision before Kickstarter starts. But I know internally, right, Pete? I mean, we've been talking about this.
No, I mean, that's right. That's exactly right. We're going to have to figure that out. I mean, I know I'm going to preempt PDubs' next question, which is how fixable are these things? Because that's probably the next question.
Yes, the next question after warranty is, are you guys using like a lot of standard parts that we can pick up from, pinball repair websites? Everything is kind of bespoke, custom.
Bespoke. I like that. Bespoke.
Yeah. So do you think that's going to worry customers about the longevity of the machines? What if you guys stop making these? How are they going to get parts long term? Pinball machines break, and
for sure
they don't last forever.
They break all the time.
No.
So everything on this machine is going to be bespoke, from the flippers to the switches to the everything, the light bulbs, like everything we're talking about.
Well, yeah, you're not going to have any well, you can have problems, I guess, wherever you, it's electronics. But as far as repairing them, we know things break, and pinball machines break. They just do. They got solenoids, there's mechanisms in there, things move around, there's a big steel ball banging at the stuff, things break. But from day one, we said when we're designing our pinball machine, we have to have a consumer be able to repair it. You can't hire somebody to fix this thing. So when you lift up and reveal the underneath of it, every one of these modules, all these mechanisms are modules that you can unplug and unscrew and remove.
Oh, okay.
So even all the LEDs that you see there and all the electronic switches, right, are all made on PCB boards. So it's not individual LEDs that are going into a slot and you have to take it out and I'm going to replace this LED. It's actually, if a section goes out, you could be able to unplug that board, unscrew it, and say, "Hey, Wonderland, you need to send me board 27."
Yeah,
okay.
And we'll send you board 27. Screw it back in, plug it back in, and should work.
So
we're thinking about repairing.
So I just wanted to jump ahead here because I know what a lot of people in the community are going to ask. It's not so much warranty's great, and I think 90 days is standard for most retail products. Most pinball companies offer about a year, so somewhere in between that lane is probably what's going to be acceptable. But what a lot of people want to know is, like, outside of warranty, are you guys going to have like a parts store? That was one of the really exciting things about Arcade 1-Up when it first came up was, you could see on the website, like if you needed a new button, new thing, they had a parts store where you could order your parts. And where you guys are making these things yourself, I think that would give people a lot of confidence to know that, if, one of my flippers breaks or, I have a problem with my ramp, that this isn't something I'm just screwed. There is a store where I can just go get these replacement parts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
go ahead, Peter. You can answer that. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it from the beginning, setting up customer support. We know how important it is. Have that ready. We will have the ability to identify the parts, as Jerry said. They'll have a code number on it. This is the thing that's broken. We'll know right away what the problem is. we will have our internal sort of order platform where we can just place the order, pick, pack, and ship it and send it out in a relatively quick fashion. There'll be a video that comes along with it that shows you how to replace this part, probably prior to that, diagnosing it, what's the issue. So that is very much at top of mind from the beginning, because I had a black hole at New Wave. We had a black hole, and I worked on it more than I played it. I swear. And it was like, and so I knew from the beginning, and I was talking, we were all talking about it. We all.
So that's why the New Wave Toys pinball is non-playable, because your real one didn't work.
Oh, do not. Nobody repeat that. Nobody repeat.
I hate to add more to your bottom line, Peter and Jerry, but I got to say, when you are a brand new company and you're making a machine that has completely custom internals, for the most part, like I can't just go buy a whole new flipper off of like a Bailey flipper off of a pinball repair website. I think 90 days might be a little short. That's just my opinion. Like, I think maybe some people would feel a little more. This is the
conversation. This is exactly the conversation. Why we're having it. What do we?
Right. I think some consumers would feel more confident about their purchase if it was like a year, you know what I mean, or 6 months, or something longer than 90 days, because the concern, of course, is, you can't get these parts anywhere else. And we're all hoping you guys do well. I mean, we love retro gaming in this community. We want you guys to take off. But what if it doesn't happen and someone has something that they can no longer use in their home? That could be concerning.
That's
right?
fair.
So I hope
Jerry lives in Canada. I'm just going to drive to his house and make him fix it.
Hope you guys find a way to push that out further if you can, which would be great.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to shipping, what are we looking at for potential shipping costs? And how is this going to be shipped? Is like the main cabinet body going to be assembled, and like people have to build the back glass? Or I'm sure people want to know. It's obviously not going to be flat packed, because you're going to have to put the pinball body in there. Like, are we actually going to assemble? We're not going to assemble the body in the playfield and all that, are we? Like, how much? What are we talking about here?
Well, when I first conceived this idea, I wanted the playfield and all the mechanisms and all the wiring and all the electronics to be a unit, to be one thing that I could lift up and out of a box.
Like the arcade one-up pinball.
Like the arcade, yes. I wanted. No. Let me finish. So just the playfield. So let's how you take the internals out, the little skis that come on it. I wanted that to be a part.
Oh, okay. I know what you're saying.
Then I wanted to be able to build a box, and then insert that in there, and assemble the back marquee. We are in the process right this very sec. Actually, right now we've been talking about this with the factory. What's the proper way to do this? I think we are going back and forth, vacillating. To be honest with you, having the whole box now built, the base built, and having the marquee separated, and having all the castle and the Chester Cat and all the other parts, all the decorative parts, separate in a little mini box, so that when you take it out of the box and put the legs on there, that you actually can put those decorative parts on there and plug them. Some of them light up, so you need to plug them into these little plugs.
Oh, interesting.
And this way we can pack it down and make it as small as possible. So we are debating this internally right now, how we're going to do that. And to be honest, we haven't come up with a proper solution. I'm just being honest with you. I wanted to pack it down. I want like the arcade one-up machines where you basically built them. You open it up. But having that playfield that we have, obviously that's a big. There's a lot of solenoids in there. There's a lot of mechanisms. There's a lot of wires and going on in there. And having someone handle that may be problematic. So we're looking into that right now. We're working it right now. Even box size, obviously. How big does the box size be? Which is going to lend itself into shipping. Weight
and retail.
And it's going to have a plexi over the playfield, not glass. Is that correct?
No,
And
it's plexi, but it's a coated plexi and it's very heavy.
Nice.
So it's not a flexi little, it's like a 1/4 inch plexi on there.
Okay.
So one thing that was a huge problem with the arcade 1-up pinballs was the plexiglass that came on some of them, not all of them. It had these weird striations, so you get these rainbow images as you're trying to look at the images. So you want to be careful on that. And if I could suggest, maybe a Kickstarter tier would be some form of tempered glass upgrade if people are willing to pay a certain tier.
The only problem I have with that is shipping.
Yeah.
I'm coming
Super
overseas. I'm on a container. I'm on trucks, on different things, forklifts lifting up. So I'm a little bit hesitant on that. It's not a no that we could do this. But I know that the machine I have right now, I have a really heavyweight piece of plexi. Yeah. I've asked the factory for different types of coating on there. One of the things I've discovered when looking at that plexi, especially since the other machine did this, when people take paper towels and they take Windex.
Oh yeah, it gets scratched up.
Yeah, immediately.
Paper towel itself, regular paper towels actually has a little grit to it. And you can actually create, and when people rub on that, they create those little swirls inside the plastic. So that's one of the things I want to prevent. Well, because people wipe it down all the time. So I want to try to prevent that, even if I can have a special coating on top of mine. And we're looking at that right now.
So I noticed some folks were mentioning how much they would rather have glass than plexi. I do want to point out, you guys remember arcade 1-up pinball machines, the virtual pinball machines? They all came with plexi.
You can just go and get your own cut. As long
how
as
many of us went and got a piece of glass?
That's what a bunch of people are saying in the chat now. I'm saying they're all saying like,
and we got a piece of glass for like $20 and slid it in there.
An aftermarket thing.
Problem solved. So I'm just pointing out, I'm not trying to defend the company here, but I'm just saying, guys, that replacing that's an easy thing to work around is what I'm trying to say when it comes to getting some tempered glass.
That is one of the things that we've been talking about too, is how are you going to, people are asking, hey, can I upgrade them? Are these going to be upgradable in some way? They've noted that, like, one of the things is that the Mad Hatter's flat, right? Well, we're talking about having a 3D sculpt that's an option, right? So you were talking about, Michael, you were talking earlier about having options for higher end tiered machines. We are talking about that for the Kickstarter. We have a few ideas for add-ons and things that you will be able to do to upgrade. So some of that's, I think what we hope to see is to engage you guys the same way, the home arcade community in the same way. Like, yes, these things are accessible. There are things that you can do to upgrade them. The glass made me think of that. I mean, that would be a thing. It's not a
no pressure,
visual
guys.
thing,
I'm just making suggestions here.
We're seeing you can see what people are saying.
So here's what's funny. This machine is advertised as 80% to scale of a real pinball machine for $1,000 or less. Why not bump it up to a 1-to-1 scale of a full pinball machine? And maybe it's 1,500, maybe it's 2,000. What made you decide just to stop here at this point? And that's a question from Nostalgia from Super Gamer Dudes.
And he's the worst. He's an edgelord. I don't know why
if you can make something that's fun and competitive and it'll play and it'll last and it's 1-to-1 scale for real pinball, but it's like $2,000 versus $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. What made you go this route?
To be honest with you, I mean, I come from the mass market retail world. And the mass market retail world, $1,000 is a lot of money. For the collector, the pinball enthusiast, $1,000 is not a lot of money. So what I'm after all the other homes, to be honest with you, that don't have pinball machines, that would like to have a pinball machine in their home. So I'm looking at that from a mass market standpoint. I would love to be, and I will be, but I want to try to keep the machine under $1,000 so that I can get more people to enjoy this product, because I get a lot of joy out of, we all get joy out of playing pinball, and I want 10 homes in my neighborhood to be able to afford one of these. I get that point. I mean, you're not the only one that said that to me before. Many people have said, Jerry, just go ahead and make it a little bit more money and put these things into it.
It's the most popular comment on all of our posts, like without a doubt.
I'll pay a little bit more for it. I'll pay a little bit more. And sure, there are people that will pay a little bit more for that. But I know that my goal is to try to make that magic under $1,000. Good playing machine, good looking machine, fun playing. You want to play it repeatedly. You know, you want it to be a piece of artwork that's in your home. I want to achieve what those other guys are doing with those really expensive machines, and have, you know, a good experience and a good looking machine for the right price. But I get that. I totally
is a consideration too, though, right? Being able to fit it in your space.
Everybody who's saying this now, try putting a real pinball machine in your home somewhere. See what your wife says when that's in your family room.
I bought about 6 months ago, I bought a Terminator machine.
Nice. That's an awesome one. T2.
And it's awesome. It's fantastic. And I've been, you know, it's sitting in my shop and I'm looking at the thing is massive.
Yeah.
No, it's like, wow.
I had two at one point down in my game room downstairs, and like it just destroyed the room. There was no room for anything else. It was just two pinball machines, and that was it.
You know what? Yeah. You know what, guys? I completely forgot. We got to play the gameplay video, and after the gameplay video, we got a few more questions.
Jerry showing me up.
This is Jerry actually showing up Peter how to play.
And just really quickly on the larger thing, the future is always open, right? If this is a smash success, and then down the line, people are like, hey, I love this, but I would love a bigger version. What's not to say that in a couple of years you couldn't look at that, right?
I mean, when we look at all the components 100%. And the things, like, they're not that dramatically different from a full-size machine. They really aren't. And so, yes, is the short answer. All right.
Now, in this video, guys, we're going to show you some updated gameplay on this Prototype 2.0. When it comes to like the voices, the voiceovers, the call outs, that stuff's not implemented yet. But you can hear some of the music. It's a little bit hard to hear. You can hear some of the music, and you'll get an idea that, yeah, you could actually shoot and hit the shots here and actually make it up the ramp.
It's short, by the way.
Poor Peter. Your video, everyone was making fun of you, man. They're like, this machine must suck. You can't hit any shots. But I think that was more Peter.
Fine.
Let's check it out. Let's play, and we'll play it like maybe twice here. Let's check it out.
Drained it.
I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it one more time for people. Let's play it one more time. All right, there you go. So what are your thoughts on how it's playing now? Do you think it's playing too fast? Are the physics working the way you want them to, considering you have to use a smaller pinball than a standard pinball? Are you guys happy with how it's going, or do you think it needs more improvement?
It needs improvement. I know if you're asking me, if you're asking the crowd, it definitely needs improvement, and that's what we're working on. We're working on, you know, in that prototype, some of the ramps and some of the openings are a little tight, but I kind of like them now because I don't want the shots to be too easy. I mean, pinball, there's some skill in trying to get some of these shots done. So there's a balancing act between too simple or too easy to get and being challenging. But there's a you know, something I learned from a guy that I bought the Terminator from is that people adjust their pinball machines, the height of it, to increase the slope, to make it a little bit faster, or lower it to make it a little bit slower. So right now our machine is 6.5 degree slope, right? Which is the standard size slope. But I think for the distance that I have and the strength of the flippers, they're a little bit too strong right now. And that's why we want to adjust the power so you can customize that a little bit. And I think if some of the shots will be a little bit smoother and a little bit nicer. Right now, it just pops that ball right out of there. Even some of our slingshots and some of our the mushroom bumpers like that, they're so strong. They're kicking it all the way across the field. So all these little subtle things I am working on to improve it. Yes, so you're right.
Just be careful not to go too soft like Jersey Jack used to be. Jersey Jack is like, I play that and I'm like, oh man, limp flippers. So there's a sweet spot, right?
So Michael, I think one of the suggestions was that I found from somebody from online was telling us that he wanted to keep the flippers full power because over time they lose a little strength.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is most likely, and we haven't really settled on this, but I think internally we talked about this, is we'll keep the strength there, but it may come default that, like, say it was a 0 to 10, we may keep it at a 7 out of the package. And if you want to make it a little bit stronger, go ahead and make it a little stronger. But as the solenoids may get weaker in a couple of years from now, you might be able to increase that strength, which would give you back to that number 7. So we're messing with that a little bit, knowing that happens.
So you talked about the game being difficult and stuff like that. They say the magic sweet spot for a pinball game is when it's really easy for anybody to come in and play, and you can have fun with it, but difficult to master. So, Jerry, you've got some pinball experience and you've been playing a little bit. Do you feel that it falls into that category?
Right now, yes, I do. I think it's pretty easy to play right now. It's a pretty basic layout. I mean, I have 8 lanes basically to go to or shoot for. Some of them are a little bit harder because, as you know, you got to hit it right in the end of the flipper to get that extreme angle. And some of them are very easy to get. You can get up with those mushroom bumpers, no problem. You're going to be able to get into the Mad Hatter's table very easily because I'm going to open it up to create a little trough in there to get that in there. So, yeah, I think so right now. I mean, I guess when people start playing it, they tell me I'm full of crap. Right now, I feel I'm getting there. I'm getting very close. And I said with some of these tweaks, I think it's easy enough to play, but it's going to be challenging to get the high scores. Now, I have to say this right away. There's 2 ways to play. All right, right away. So everyone plays for a high score.
Yeah.
Right. But there's actually a way of getting Alice out of Wonderland.
Flipping the table, basically. Yeah, you finish the story mode.
Win the table.
Yeah.
But there's 3 levels to that. So as you get through one level and achieve it, it's going to restart the game. And now it gets a little bit harder. There's a little different combinations. So to get her through or get her out of Wonderland, you have to get her through 3 rounds of the game.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And so it's going to be plus also getting those high scores that you want to get. And there'll be some hidden gems inside there. You didn't realize what you did, but you might have gotten 1,000,000 points by doing something. You didn't know what you did.
But you're going to tell me what I did because I want to replicate it, right?
Yes.
So just to keep things moving for you guys here, a number of people have been asking about something that's on all of our minds in this gaming community is the tariffs. There have been a number of people who have been asking about the tariffs. Do you foresee tariffs affecting shipping and the price of this product and all that stuff? Because I'm assuming the $9.99 is before shipping. Am I correct?
Yes. So yeah, there's going to be a shipping charge, and I don't have any final numbers for you on what the shipping is going to be. I don't. We're looking at that right now. Some of the different distributors that we have some special deals on shipping. But tariffs, yeah, that's out of my control right now, and I do believe it's going to affect us in some way. I don't know exactly how, but yes, bringing in the goods, we're going to be charged.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing to keep in mind is that tariffs are on our cost of goods. They're not on what you guys are paying. So you shouldn't be thinking,
people
hey, it's
misunderstand
10 points
that,
on, right? Yeah. It's not 10 points on $1,000. Just keeping the math simple, right? It's on what it's costing us to build and bring in the landed cost of the machine. That's what you pay your tariff on. So, and we pay it. And you're right. If it adds 10 points onto our costs, I mean, there's a decent chance that we will have to find out how to cover that. Will it be a slightly higher price?
This is news to us too, meaning it's, obviously it's just recent. So we've talked about this. Wow, what is this going to do to us? How this is our budget? How we got. So yeah, we're thinking about that, but that's not going to prevent us from doing anything. It's really on us, and we'll figure out a way. And I want to keep this price, especially for Kickstarter. I want to have a very attractive price. I think anybody that's investing in this thing early, I want to make sure that they're getting something special. And that I want to kind of thank them for getting it early, because I will be at retail. I will.
I remember at Pinball Expo,
I will be.
You were saying I'm going to be at retail, and then I'm going to be the other guy, and he was like, "No, we're doing Kickstarter."
Well, it's a combo, right? Yeah. So there's reasons to do the Kickstarter to help us get through this development phase, but I mean. Yeah, I mean, the end goal is retail conversations. Yeah. There's lots of end goal. This is what this man does.
That's what I do. One of the things you may not say real quick, so you understand, is that since I'm doing everything custom, like everything is my stuff. Like I can't buy. I'm not buying this, purchasing this from somebody. Mm-hmm. So every little piece of material in that is custom to us, meaning we have custom tooling. So the tooling that makes that part, all right, I have to pay that out of my pocket. We have to pay that out of our pocket. So there's a nice big chunk of money that we have to pay to be able to create the product. And that's one of the things that Kickstarter will allow me to do, is help me get into that production.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you is, a year ago, after you guys left your former employers or former companies and decided to venture out onto your own as entrepreneurs, you guys came out with this product or attempted to release this product called Shuffle Shot on Kickstarter. Now the Kickstarter went live, it got backed, and then unfortunately the product never actually shipped. The Kickstarter got canceled. And, typically there's a number of companies in our, what I like to call our niche, who I think if they start a Kickstarter, we have the confidence from prior Kickstarters that they were fulfilled and met and that people got what they paid for. That, you have that confidence. With you guys, you had one Kickstarter that unfortunately didn't make it to the finish line. What can you tell my audience and me and Mike here? How confident are we that this Kickstarter will go all the way to the finish line? These products will show up in people's homes, and anything you want to add about why this Kickstarter didn't get to the finish line?
Yeah, well, I don't know how many people know this or not, but my relationship with this other company, they were called Arcade 1-Up. So that was the company that I was the CEO of ThinkUp, and we did all the design work and creative work for Arcade 1-Up. When our relationship ended, I decided, I want to start making my own product, and this is one of the products that I started to do. And I had such a great experience doing the Infinity Game Table on Kickstarter that I said this is a great platform for us to start a new product. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, I'm in some legal issues with the other company, and when I came out with that product on Kickstarter, less than a week in, I got a cease and desist.
Oh.
Because I had shown them, they didn't make it. It was just an idea that I had shared with them. And since I was already having some legal problems with them, and I'll just keep it at that, I decided that I didn't want to throw more legal problems into my issues right now. So sad to us, I really wanted to make that product. It was a nice, simple product to make. I kind of liked the concept a lot. It was fun to play. I would have loved to make it, but there was that was in the back.
Yeah. So that's a really shitty thing, because it gets into that intellectual property discussion when you were in that partnership. Is this really their intellectual property? The message that really came out to the community, which was there was some problem with the pricing. So that's what the narrative was in the community, is that the pricing model wasn't accurate, and that's why you had to pull it. So hearing that is a huge relief, Jerry. Now, before PDubs finishes this up, we have one person in the community that was all in on the Shuffle Golf Kickstarter. Our buddy
Detroit Love. Detroit Love.
Detroit Love was down.
Your number one fan. He couldn't wait for this. Is there?
He was
any
in earlier.
way-
Is he still in?
Yeah, he might still be here. Is there any way? Like, I'll buy it out of my own money. Is there any chance that there's a prototype out there, an extra prototype we could buy for him?
Just send it to Carl. He'll cherish it forever. He loved that thing.
Well, no, there isn't.
Oh.
No. I shouldn't say that. I do have a couple prototypes, but you never know. I might, part of starting this new company is that I want to make game room type of products.
Yeah,
a pinball is the top of the line, and I want to make other pinball machines. I come from a licensing background, so I want to make possibly some licensing based pinball machines also. But I really love the model of pinball. It doesn't have to be a license. It could be a cool subject matter. So, but there's other things within this game room I believe that I can create in my creativity. I can create some, like the shuffle golf and other products. There's some other products that I want to work on too. So, so the answer is that product may, in some form, come back.
Okay.
Don't know when or if it will, or promise you will, but it could. So I loved it too. It was a fun. Actually, we had the best time play testing that.
It looks fun, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So,
but seriously, if it doesn't come out, keep my name and number, because it's a life goal of mine now to get Carl to shuffle golf.
You got it.
All right.
So what you're telling me is, unfortunately, prior companies said, "Hey, that's our idea," or "We think it's our idea," and it kind of paused that. But you're saying that's not going to happen with this one, right? Like,
no,
no worries here.
And it's worth pointing out, and I've seen it in the chat, but and everybody should know that the way Kickstarter works is, if you cancel the campaign prior to a closing, you don't take any money. You don't get any money. There was no money to give back. There was no.
Yeah, it just got canceled.
It just got canceled. There was no. You if you commit, you give your backing after the fact. So anyway, just to make that really clear, if it wasn't.
So I think the clear message coming from this segment is really what a lot of people in the arcade community feel right now. Arcade 1-Up ruins everything.
Stop it, Mike. You're going to get a C&D sent to me, Mike. You keep that talking. All right. So looking at this, just a couple questions left because we're already over our time, out of respect for Jerry. Are we still looking at launching this in March? Is that when you're looking at doing this?
Yes.
Like mid-March, late March, the Kickstarter?
Well, Peter, you can answer that. And Peter's kind of running the show here. He's on this part of it.
So mid-March. There's Tuesdays are always a great day to launch pretty much any Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 Tuesdays in the middle of the month that we like, 11th and the 18th. And right now we're trending to the 11th. So we feel very good. In fact, Jerry's morning was spent shooting video, if I'm not mistaken. And so we are putting our assets together. We are... We've actually been chosen, this is inside baseball, but we've been chosen to work with the performance marketing team at Kickstarter. Meaning, so you can, it's an option to work with them, but they have to pick you. And so they like our campaign very much. Nice. So yeah, it was a nice little feather in our cap, and we're excited to be doing that. But that is where we're headed. And we have a lot of followers already on the campaign, as you can see. That's an unusually high number in the ones that I've done about 8 Kickstarters in the past. And that's an unusually high number, which is great. Trends well for us. But it's going to be worthwhile. And we think there would be more people. A lot of people don't really still in this day that still don't totally understand what Kickstarter is, how, crowdfunding works. Like, what does it mean? What do you mean I give you your money and you don't, it's like, so there's an element of that. If you look at like sort of the sales funnel, right, you got to get over a couple hurdles to convince people that this is something we're doing. And I'm hoping that what's coming through and what you're seeing and all the effort and all the work that guy has done and the team behind us has done. This is a product that's coming to market. I couldn't feel more confident in answering that question. Like, this is happening. There are reasons why we're using Kickstarter, as we were explaining earlier. to fund some of the development. The tooling in particular, very expensive. So it's coming. It's it's a lovely product. What can I say?
It's lovely.
And so if the Kickstarter goes through in March, it gets backed. When are people expected to get their pinball machines? When are you thinking that could happen by? Are we talking third quarter, fourth quarter this year?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Definitely this year.
Definitely this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
And that's as much working with our partners as well. I mean, they commit the resources and they need to go and they want to build machines.
I want to be in production, literally in production, making these by the end of the summer. So literally making them. So, but there's a lot going on. All the tooling that needs to happen. All the code writing. There's a lot still to be done. But it's by the way, I'm just going to tell you right now, whether you believe me or not, I'm making this regardless if this Kickstarter is good or bad. If it's bad, I already have distributors and other buyers that are extremely interested in this product already, and are ready to take it on. So
nice.
But for those who are brave enough to support you from day one here and back your Kickstarter, a lot of questions here about the backing amount. Now I know
is that do they mean what our raises, or do they mean how much the pledge on their behalf? I assume they mean the latter, but
I'm assuming they mean the latter.
What's their pledge to get
amount?
in? Yeah.
Well, when the Kickstarter goes live, you'll see that there's different tiers actually.
There'll be different tiers. There'll be we'll have an early bird that'll be the best tier.
Right.
It'll probably again. It does it in this too.
You're doing it on your phone, are you?
I'm not. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go.
Oh no! Wow!
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. So that'll be the best way. It'll be fixed. There'll probably be a fixed early bird tiers number of units. We might do a timed one. We're still kind of figuring that out, but the price is going to be. There's going to be a reason for you to go and register and get on Kickstarter and do it, because it's going to be the best, most aggressive pricing that likely imagine we'll ever see.
Yeah.
We do know what it is. I'm not going to share it yet. We are going to talk about
but we'll find out. We'll find out.
You'll find out. Yes. It'll be worthwhile. It'll be very worthwhile.
And
I'm hoping
if I could,
go ahead, Mike.
Oh, go ahead.
Mike.
Yeah, just one parting word. Where I'm in Canada, this is really important. I implore you to have the shipping stuff figured out before the first day of the Kickstarter. That's all I
we are. That goes back to some what Jerry was mentioning about some of the other conversations we're having with people and avoiding tariffs and getting them going direct into Canada from our manufacturer rather than coming through the US. It's a total mess. We don't want to do that. So that's definitely a consideration. We're feeling pretty good about Canada right now. We're not finalizing anything, but we are feeling good about it. I can tell you that I've been setting up the tiers and I've said, hello, Canada. Yes, you will be part of this Kickstarter. So.
All right. So two quick questions. Topper. Are you guys looking at doing a topper or maybe even a topper as a Kickstarter incentive? People love their pinball toppers. So that's a quick one. What do you think?
There's a few add-ons.
Oh, there will be add-ons. Oh, look at Jerry smiling, guys. I think we just gave it away.
Well, we've talked about these, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have these in the Kickstarter. We will have an add-on for a topper.
Nice.
We also will be inside the machine that you purchase. There's going to be a Chester cat that's kind of on a translucent tree, but you'll be able to purchase a 3D cat. As an add-on. Also, the Mad Hatter right now, he's just a sort of a die-cut shape with a label on it. He's on, we're going to make him maybe as an add-on, as a bobblehead, a real 3D bobble, maybe with real hair. Actually, have a beard and maybe some hair coming up there. So those are three. Topper being one, and then some other things too. that I'm not going to share right now because there's some things I want you to be surprised.
Gonna hold some things back.
All right.
You know,
So
some
there,
other things.
so some folks who might wait for retail could potentially miss out on these because these will be Kickstarter exclusives. That kind of stuff.
Not all of them will probably not be,
but some of them. Not all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. So
yeah. Yeah.
And we covered this already, but they won't get Jerry's signature if they don't do the Kickstarter. So
they will get. One of the options is a set of these lovely cards, though.
Ooh, those look nice. So if this product is successful, are you looking at making a whole line of these with different themes? Or are you feeling this is more like one thing and you guys will go to do something different?
No, I want to build a brand of affordable pinball machines. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100%. I want to be successful with this one, learn from it, but we're already thinking about other potential themes, licensing. I'm not a big fan of licensing because I've been in my business such a long time. I understand that licensing helps sell a product. It's just, it's the way it works in the world. But I know that every time I've been involved with a licensor, and I've done every license that there is the license has a lot of control over the creative. And they dictate a little bit. Even in the Playfield, I'm sure that the licensor will dictate a little bit. So I like to do it myself or with other people. So we'll see. But yes, your answer is quickly, I want to do some other pinball machines.
Okay, good.
We are not planning on going to Texas. Sorry, folks.
No,
we'll be WonderCon.
WonderCon I saw. And is there another kind of rollout plan for people to come play this? Because with pinball, even though this isn't, $10,000, a lot of people won't feel comfortable buying something until they've played it. So is there any other events possibly you're going to be coming up to that they might be able to test out the prototype?
Getting it in before the end of the campaign is really the challenge. This one falls, as you can see, right in the middle of it. There are I don't know what other show there is. Texas is literally either the week before or the week after WonderCon. I think it's the week before WonderCon. It's just tough for us to, first of all, to have what we need because they're currently building 3.0 and getting it here in time for WonderCon is going to be a challenge in and of itself. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, there's a new concept of late pledges with Kickstarter, and it might make some sense for us. We really haven't talked about it yet, but I've been thinking about it a little bit. If we keep a late pledge tier open and then we go hit some shows over the summer, maybe that's a way to do it. Because I understand, I think we all understand that, you want to physically play the thing. I mean, we've been talking about, even as we've been talking about retail, how do we put something on the floor so that people can see it, without breaking the bank, which is if you work with any of these retailers, like an end cap at Best Buy, as an example, right? I mean, it's shocking, honestly, how expensive it is. But anyhow.
One place that I think a lot of people from the community, I don't know if I'm going to get back there yet, I'm hoping to, is the Cleveland Gaming Classic. Peter, you've been there before.
Yes, that's where we had a hang.
I think it would be cool if you guys it sounds like you will, towards the later end of the year, October, you go back to Chicago Pinball Expo. Hey, remember when we were here with an empty box a year ago?
Right.
Look what we have now. I mean,
can you guys just say, because I want Jerry to hear, please tell me you're impressed with how far it has come from that empty box to where we are now.
Yeah, in what, 4-5 months? You guys it's been fun to watch this project develop, but I think all of us are, you have to hold final firm opinions until you have the final version.
Fair.
And we see the game, we see it all put together. The artwork wrapped up, the caterpillar wrapped up, the code implemented, full-on gameplay showing the modes unlocked. Like, it's really hard to say something's incredible when we've seen maybe what, about 60% of
That's
it,
fair.
right?
That's
Like, we
fair.
That's
got to
very
get
fair.
that. We got to get that. I'll be honest with you guys. I like what I'm seeing so far. You guys sound very passionate about this project, and it sounds exciting. It's been fun to follow since the beginning. But once
Feels
you
like we're
hit that
growing with it, doesn't
final,
it?
yeah,
Yes.
once you
Yes.
hit that final, hey guys, here's the final version. Kickstarter's going live. I think that's when people can kind of get really excited if they're really interested in it. So, but guys, we have gone above and beyond our time.
Wow, we crushed it.
Big thank you to Jerry. Jerry said we only had an hour. We got him for 90 minutes.
He missed
Jerry.
like 6 meetings because we went over.
This is terrible. So, big shout out to you guys. Big shout out to this live chat. You guys were incredible as always. Hopefully, we gave you some good information and asked some good questions.
Yeah,
Yep.
there was a lot of stuff there. We've been reading it, so
Yeah.
And
Thank you very much.
Guys, do us a favor. The link is pinned here. It's also in the video description below. If you're interested, click that notify me Kickstarter link. That way, when the Kickstarter launches, you'll be there. Hell, 1,700 people have already clicked that link in only a couple of weeks. It's pretty impressive. So good stuff there. Thanks so much, everybody. And thanks, Jerry and Peter and Mike. Thanks so much for helping me out, man. This was a busy stream. I knew it would be. I needed your help. Give us a thumbs up on the way out. Thank you for subscribing. And we'll see you guys in Wonderland, right? Talk to you guys.
There you go. Thank you very much.
I had
Thanks,
to go
guys.
out with the fireworks.
Oh, all
We'll
right.
see you later.
You guys have a good one.
There's no music for the outro video for some reason.
Yeah, apparently I forgot to hit the music.